Honorable the Chairman, Dr. Amit Gupta sir, Campus Director, Dr. R.K. Raghuvanshi sir, Principal, GemTech School of Law, Greater Noida, Professor Dr. Palvi Gupta ma'am, Professor Dr. A.K. Tyagi sir, all the HODs present over here from different departments, faculty coordinators, Dr. Amita Rathi ma'am, and Mudit Rohila sir from GemTech School of Law, student coordinator, Mr. Saurabh Guha, moderator and anchor of the day, my dear Arunim, dear faculty members and students. I, Dr. N.K. Bahal, Professor of Law at GemTech School of Law, Greater Noida, District Gautam Budh Nagar, UP, on behalf of GemTech family and on my own behalf, heartily welcome CS Deepak Sharma sir to GemTech School of Law. Deepak Sharma sir is a partner in Messrs. Sharma Jain and Associates, which is a firm of practicing company secretaries. Sir is a law graduate and Masters in Commerce and fellow member of Institute of Company Secretaries in India. Mr. Deepak Sharma sir has more than 20 years of experience in providing advisory services to corporate sector, providing them legal and financial opinions. Sir has been providing consultancy services to Indian and multinational companies, partnership firms, various trusts, societies, and NGOs. Sir has been speaker on many subjects relating to corporate laws, legal and secretarial audits, including listing. Sir has been associated with Meerut chapter of ICSI for 12 years, and he has been invited as guest faculty in various law and management colleges, including CCS University. Sir is an expert in legal drafting as a promising lawyer, and Sir has participated in more than 500 seminars and webinars till date. We once again welcome you, sir, and we are thankful to you for accepting our invitation and sparing your valuable time for guiding our students. And it's my privilege to welcome you, sir. We are really delighted to welcome you at GemTech School of Law.
Thank you so
Dear
much.
students, at the same time, we are also happy to know that Deepak sir has a keen interest in academics and he has contributed various articles which have been published in various journals and magazines. We once again welcome you, sir, to GemTech School of Law, Greater Noida, and we will invite you to our campus once this pandemic of COVID-19 is over. And we thank you so much for accepting our invitation, sir. Dear students, Deepak sir is our chief guest for today, and he would be speaking on various dimensions of mentor-mentee relationship, especially the academic aspects, personality development aspects, and career opportunities for the benefit of our students. All these aspects of mentor-mentee relationship are very interesting in today's contemporary world. And dear students, you will be definitely and greatly benefited by today's deliberations. And today you will definitely learn the niceties and intricacies of mentor-mentee relationships. Deepak sir, our students and faculty members are very keen and eager to listen to you on today's interesting mentor-mentee relationship. You are once again welcome to the family of GEMS. Over to moderator Arunim Kathuria, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Now, I would like to invite our HOD ma'am, Professor Dr. Pallavi Gupta ma'am, for embracing us with her kind words of wisdom. Ma'am, over.
Arun, due to some technical glitch, ma'am is not available here. She will join very soon to us.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am.
Till then, proceed.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you. Now, let's talk about CS Deepak Sharma, sir. CS Deepak Sharma has a total 16 years of experience providing advisory services to corporate and providing legal and financial opinions. He has worked for both Indian and multinational companies. He has been the speaker on many subjects relating to corporate laws, legal and secretariat adult audit, doing business in India, listening and audit. He also deals in international joint venture agreements and due diligence processes. Mr. Deepak Sharma has been associated with the Meerut chapter of ICSI for 12 years as a chairman. He has been taking classes for foundation, intermediate, and final of ICSI. He has been associated with Meerut branch of ICAI in capacity of faculty for CA executive. He has been taking corporate law and commercial law classes for both CA and CS. He has been the speaker on various platforms of CA and CS profession. He has been taking regular classes in the Institute of Company Secretaries of India for the final pass students for the 15 years training program known as the Management Skills Orientation Program. Sir has delivered lectures on a few topics such as CSR, pre-certification, corporate laws, secretariat audit, uh, and has been associated with ICSI for taking session with MSOP, listing agreement, annual return, board report, secretariat standards, IPR such as trademarks, copyrights, patents, e-filing, and practical aspects of corporate laws. Sir, now I welcome you to embrace us with your kind words, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, wherein as a mentor, I have a role to play, and you as a mentee have a greater role to play. Thank you so much, all the faculty members, HODs, and especially the principal of Jim's Law School, and all the organizers who have just, have been instrumental in taking the students to the level where they can just, have a thought process about their various career avenues which are available or which may be available as per persuades available in the market. Today, when we talk about a mentorship, the mentorship responsibility really cast a very big responsibility on my shoulder. Why? Because as a mentor, I have to deal with certain corner of law wherein you can have your leverage all the time whenever you are having some sort of a dream about your dream career in law or related activities, my dear friends. So here, I would like to deliberate some sort of a general connotation about the mentor and mentorship and about the corporate law specifically, because I've been taught corporate laws since last 20 years. I have been just, studying corporate law since last more than 20 years. And it's my passion and it's my, really interested subject wherein I want to excel. Therefore, time will definitely tell when and how I will get excellence in the corporate laws and related aspects. But I have been trying since long. So this is where I have to share some sort of a practical knowledge with you all, so that just after finishing your 5 years integrated course, or maybe after just having the thought process about your career path, you may have a clear wisdom to think over and just to decide upon various avenues which are available or which may be available under the Companies Act 2013 and other commercial laws specifically. So for that purpose, I have just prepared a very small PPT for you guys so that we can have a very dedicated 1 hour session. I think it is visible. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and please confirm whether it is now moving to the second slide. Is
Yes,
it
sir.
moving?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect. So mentorship program. Can you see that? Can you confirm, please?
Yes, sir. We can see
Thank
the
you so
slide
much.
of mentorship program.
Thank you
also.
so much. Thank you so much. So these mentorship program, which I have been just, taking in various other colleges, it includes many aspects about the mentoring and how as a mentor and as a mentee, we can just, benefit out of it. I think you are not an exception actually. So these exceptions and these requirements include a lot of training sessions, which I'm very much sure that because I have been associated with gyms since the starting of law classes over there. So it includes a very hard training. It includes your own motivation. It includes advice which your seniors and your peer group provides to you from time to time. You have a goal to just achieve actually. You want to have a support system from your internal and external agencies, like for example, maybe your peer group, maybe your teachers, your professors, your guide, your colleagues, your seniors, whatever. In fact, from wherever you want to have that, you have a support model. In fact, now whenever there is a right coaching does not mean the external assistance of any agency, but this is within the institution, like within the gyms, where you get a very targeted study and you are excel in the proper right direction and you achieve a success. So this is a typical cycle of mentoring, and this is not a one-day job. This is not a one-hour job. It is throughout life actually. Wherever you go, wherever you join, wherever you just have an opportunity to learn, and wherever you have a passion to learn, I think some mentors will be there around you actually. This is you actually who identified those mentors and just apply their thought process, apply their success mantras in your respective career, my dear friends. As a professional, I can say that maybe after having 20 years, I always in search of mentors, and mentors. Why? Because they are the people who shape my professional journey in a way which matches rightly with the existing corporate spectrum, wherein I can just cope up with many challenges which come across before me actually. So this is what the mentorship program is all about. It's not a one-day job. Please take it very seriously, and wherever you have a chance to learn, please just be open and go for your learning process actually. My dear friends, definition of mentorship in a very simple words, if you want to just understand again. Why? Because in every mentorship session, every mentor will have his or her own definition, but what I find suitably for you today is just a relationship between two people, maybe you and me, where the individual with more experience, knowledge, and connection is able to pass along what they have learned to a more junior individual within a certain field. You have just one thing behind me because you took birth after me. That is why you have less experience. If you would have just, been maybe 80s or whatever, I think your experience level would be at par with me or maybe other seniors or other professors. The more senior individual is the mentor and the more junior individual is the mentee. This may be the myth. This may be the exception. This may be some sort of a presumption which everybody has to take in the right direction. So seniority or maybe juniority will not definitely hamper the relationship between two individuals as a mentor and as a mentee. So this is what the definition of mentorship, because it cannot be a exhaustive definition of mentorship, and this has to be described in a manner which suits to an individual. Why? Because the individual want to have a maximum benefit out of the experience of his or her senior actually. Now, according to some some mentors, a mentor has been tried to be described in a way where you can have some sort of a terminology, and these terminologies may be a critic, maybe an energizer, maybe a counselor, maybe a problem solver, maybe a role model, maybe a planner, maybe a facilitator, maybe a learning consultant, maybe a expert. Over and above, I feel the teacher and educator are the most critical part, having energy to energize others actually, who are having the expert knowledge of a domain area and who are having a confidence to just give 100% to their students. And at the same time, they become catalyst and advisor and they target the setter. But one, the quality of a mentor is friend. And today, definitely, I would urge you, I would request you, treat me like a friend of yours, my dear friend. So as a mentor, I want to be your friend. Just after this session, I have requested James that any of you, if you feel that, yes, anything has to be discussed with me, I'm all the time open. Just you have to drop me a message through James and I will definitely get back to you for whatever may be a problem or maybe a trouble as a troubleshooter for you. So please treat me as a friend, my dear friends. As a mentor, I think friend does have a great role to play. Now, these are the examples. My dear friends, everyone can just have an idea how they reach to a position and the height of excellence. So these two pictures are not exceptions to that actually. Now, mentorship skills, which you really appreciate the way they have to be dealt with. These are some sort of a technical skills which are required by the mentor. Today, I may have some sort of a skill in the field of corporate laws, which I want to share with you so that you may have some sort of an idea about the corporate laws and avenues which are available in corporate laws actually. Now, skills required by mentee. Now, these skills are not necessarily be there, maybe right now, within you actually. But at the same time, my dear friends, I think whenever these two are clubbed together, the mentorship skills are there. And these mentorship relations are, or skills are evolving and they are evolving actually. So whenever you do have some sort of a, confusion in your mind as to your maybe career, maybe about your path, the career path, so you have a right skill of a right person. You have so many mentors around you. Then choose one as a friend and just seek advice as per the directions, whatever he gives to you. So this is what has to be there. Now, what are the qualities of a good mentor? For example, I as a mentor must have relevant expertise of knowledge. I should be enthusiastic for sharing that expertise with you. Every knowledgeable person do not wish to share his or her knowledge domain with others. The moment they decide that, yes, I have to just, share my knowledge with others so that others may benefit out of my practical experience to just less the time. Why? Because whenever I struggled a lot in just solving a problem, and if I discuss with you as a case law, I think this would be benefiting you in long term. A respectful attitude towards each other as a friend. I have to be just eager to invest my time in you as a mentee. So whenever you have some sort of a difficulty, a problem, I have to be there just to help you out. Like for example, your teachers, your professors, they are just around you all the time, just to troubleshoot each and every aspect of problems or whatever the troubles you have regarding your studies or career. I should have the ability to give honest and direct feedback, right? I have to be, open enough to reflect a listening attitude and empathy in you. And I have to be ready and willing to be a sponsor wherever anything, like for example, training sessions are required by any of the mentee in this regard. So these are what I should have. But at the same time, what you should have, you have to be efficient and systematic. I think, or I believe you are, because you opted law, which requires a lot of commitment, which requires a lot of energy, which requires a lot of dedication. So this is what you have to be there. Be considerate to schedule meetings ahead of the time, value your mentor's time. So you are on time all the time. So you just value the time. This is what our quality of a good mentee. You are trustworthy, my dear friends. You are resourceful. Resourceful in terms of your knowledge, in terms of your education. You're proactive, right? And you're bringing relevant matters to discuss with your mentors openly, actually. all the time, whenever you have actually. You are realistic and you are ready to learn from your mistakes. Why? Because every time you do have some sort of a issue before you regarding your, maybe issue regarding your learning process, regarding your understanding, regarding your applying your mind actually in resolving a issue or problem or case. So you have to be realistic in terms of your learning process. You have to be curious all the time and you are engaged. Why? Because whosoever you're talking about, maybe in a group, maybe in a peer group, maybe you're taking classes, maybe you're discussing something with your seniors, maybe you are dealing with your clients, you have to be curious. You have to be just engaged person. So this is what the quality you must have. So before starting, I must definitely refresh you regarding these qualities. Now, any specific quality you should have? I think one must have that quality. The majority of the time, the relationship between you and your senior, maybe your client, maybe your colleagues, that will involve talking and listening. The profession of a legal person or a law-abiding person or a legal expert includes talking and listening. Now, listening is an active process and it goes on like anything. Even if you are in sleep mode, I think you are listening. Whenever you are in silence mode, you are listening. So it means the active process, which is listening, does have its own impact on your brain actually. And it is much more than just hearing actually. Because when you hear, you just hear. But when you listen, you concentrate. So what the other person is saying, you have to just concentrate on that. Julian Treasure, who has been a great public speaker on TEDx, you can just, have a TED Talks of Mr. Julian. He uses a helpful acronym like RASA. You receive the message or you receive, communication. You appreciate it, you analyze it, you summarize it within your mind frame, maybe within the fraction of seconds, and then you ask as a maybe question or maybe as a curiosity or whatever. So this RASA technique is to facilitate active listening. You have to be expert enough, and it takes years, it takes life actually, where active listening takes practice and is a critical skill. Even I'm just trying to have it. Everybody's trying to have it within the courtroom actually. Whenever you're talking to your client, maybe within the campus, maybe in the classroom, maybe within your friends actually, with your family members, this is a critical skill because you should have a right patience. Now, this critical skill which required is just required to develop, not just for a successful mentoring relationship, but also in all respect, 360-degree of your life. So this is what, my dear friends, I think you should have. Now, as a mentor, today I have a role to play, and I think you can just raise any question in between, or you can just write down your question wherever you're sitting, wherever you're participating, and just put up your question and allow the moderator to ask me that question after the session as well. If the moderator allows, in between also you can participate, my dear friends. So here, today in corporate laws, which is a very large area of practice, which is a very large area in India actually, without which I think legal profession cannot be thought of. So working as a corporate lawyer or legal advisor in a corporate law or maybe in some of the legal firm, it can be a very rewarding and lucrative career path. One must have heard about corporate laws. You cannot avoid at any instance the corporate laws. So you have to study for many years. These 5 years will definitely give you the glimpse of corporate laws, but the practical aspects in years to come will definitely prepare you for the hard work and sacrifices you will put in actually in your efforts in corporate laws. So you will need a lot of energy to get qualified. You have to gain experience and then continue your professional development and study for your specialization or specialist in corporate laws and its practice. Now, anything which requires that corporate law must be persuaded. There are certain laws, there are certain rules, there are certain acts which need to be just, studied in a very steady manner. It means whenever you talk about corporate laws, wherein in India, as of now, more than 14 lakhs companies are there which have been operating in India. And these 14 lakhs companies have ample work, more than 10,000 listed companies, more than 2.5 lakhs of public companies, private companies, maybe charitable institutions, charitable companies, maybe producer companies, the government companies. So these institutions, these corporate structures give you a chance to work with them actually, or work for them actually. So whenever you have to just focus on an area which is related to the corporate law, the Companies Act 2013 comes into picture, which have to be studied with all the rules, circulars, and notifications. The corporate law history in India has been very old. When the British time was there, so first time ever, in 1848, the first Companies Act was just promulgated by the Britishers in England. After that, the Companies Act or the corporate law has seen a journey, a long journey, wherein in various years, just maybe stabilizing in the year 1913, when we Indians got our first Companies Act 1913 during the British era, where we were just regulated by and under the Companies Act 1913. And after that, in the era of freedom, when 1947 we got our independence, and in 1956 we got our first corporate law legislation in the shape of Companies Act 1956. So after 1913, after a gap of exactly 100 years, we got our Companies Act 2013 with all the rules, circulars, and notifications, and it is our own act. Why? Because Companies Act 1956 was motivated by Companies Act 1913 when Britishers made it actually. So this is our law. And when we talk about the objective of the government of India, where ease of doing business has been the prominent focus of the government. So these acts, these rules, and these legislations becomes very important in your life, your professional journey as a student of law. So one has to study the Companies Act 2013. Now, second comes the IBC 2016. My dear friends, definitely you will have knowledge of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016, which has been made effective in 2016, and which has given so much of powers to the courts actually, especially National Company Law Tribunal, which is again a institution which are great objectivity to deal with corporate law matters and incidental matters there too. So IBC 2016 has given a way to the banks to recover its dues. And as a legal person, as a corporate law person, or as a advocate, or as a maybe guide, as an advisor, as a consultant, you will have a great role to play, where IBC 2016 would be one of the strong factor in the learning process of corporate laws. The labor laws, the different labor laws which are regulated under the different acts actually, like for example, Provident Fund Act, Employee State Insurance Act, maybe the Gratuity Act, Minimum Wages Act, Remuneration Act, maybe the Apprentice Act. So these are the labor laws where a company is governed by those labor laws. So one has to be updated, one has to be expert in dealing with the labor laws and its compliances. Therefore, reading, studying, and understanding labor laws is one of the important criteria of having the domain and a career path in the corporate laws. Environmental laws, again, given a blue shadow to the various stakeholders, including the companies. So every company has to follow environmental laws. And as far as the international lobby and international laws are concerned, they are really strict. They are very stiff. So be it Air Pollution Act and maybe the Environment Protection Act, maybe a water, maybe a climatic change. So these are the areas where a person may have its own targets, so that they may just, receive a very targeted expertise knowledge under the environmental laws. The next is IPR, the intellectual property rights, my dear friends. So this is an area where intellectual property rights give you an edge over others actually. So within the parameters of corporate laws, though it is a very specific law, directly and indirectly connected with your IPR, but yes, intellectual property rights do have its own domains, including trademarks, copyrights, industrial designs, or maybe, patents and all other things. So IPR is one of the things wherein you have to study those IPRs along with the other aspects of companies in 2013. Industry specific laws. So these are the industry specific laws which provides you, a thing actually relating to maybe a construction company, maybe a some software company, FMCG, maybe pharmaceutical companies, the service industry. So these all industry specific laws, like for example in construction industry, you have to study, or maybe one day you may study the RERA, that is called, or maybe whenever you are dealing with some pharmaceutical company, you may deal with some of other specific law, which is industry specific law relating to Food Adulteration Act, or maybe some other specific laws which are governing these, area of practice or area of working. So, my dear friends, this is where you have to be very proactive. You have to be very clear in terms of understanding the applicability and the requirement of different laws. So these domains may again create so many verticals wherein one has to be very clear about understanding those laws and applying in their own area of expertise, right? So this is what. So, my dear friends, this is what this is really important to be updated about these laws. Now, as a mentor in corporate laws, sometimes students ask me, sir, what we have to do, where we should apply this. Okay, we have to find some clients. We have to find some, maybe a corporate to work on, maybe a legal team, or maybe a legal firm to work on. Where we have to, what are the institutions where we have to go to actually. So this Companies Act 2013, or the corporate law in, maybe in a broad way, the incorporation of a institution, the incorporation of a company is important. Now, this is a role a legal person or an advocate can have actually. So they have been given power by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs to incorporate a company and just to certify those documents which are related to the memorandum and articles of association of the company. So whenever there is an incorporation process, you have to deal with your clients on behalf of your legal firm or on your own behalf, wherever you have been working with any corporate. So this incorporation process includes incorporation of a company, be it a public or private company. So this process includes all the compliances under the Companies Act 2013, all the procedures, what has to be filed and what documents are to be drafted for the purpose of incorporation of a company. Now, after incorporation of a company, the compliance starts under various domains. So I just, go back to my previous slide. Like for example, under Companies Act 2013, IBC, labor laws, environmental laws, IPR, industry specific law, I may be covered in each and every law which is being just dealt with and has been applicable on me. So as a company, as a corporate person, I have to be expert enough, in fact, to deal with those corporates actually. So these compliances will include intimation and filing of certain forms and just drafting of certain documents, information to be just given to different departments concerning these acts which have been dedicated actually. Now, various corporate actions which are related to maybe anytime you have to just amend your memorandum and articles of association. This is regarding your registered office. This is regarding your capital. This is regarding your any action which takes you to the appointment of any authority like maybe auditors, maybe internal auditors, maybe a compliance auditor, whosoever actually, and maybe directors, the independent directors, the CSR activities, for example, the corporate social responsibility activities. So these are the actions which the student has to learn maybe during his or her studies actually, then they replicate it or maybe apply it when they get a client or maybe they join some sort of a legal firm or a client actually. Now, management dispute mechanism has been provided under the Companies Act 2013, and this management dispute mechanism is really important in terms of understanding that whenever there is a shareholder dispute inter se or there is a director dispute, and when directors are not behaving as per the best corporate governance practices, so there may be a dispute raised by some shareholder against the directors or the management. Here, the responsibility of a legal person like us, like you, definitely will emerge to guide them how to resolve those disputes and before which authority, which court they have to refer these disputes. Like for example, whenever there is a management dispute, one has to refer the cases under the Companies Act 2013 before the National Company Law Tribunal of India. So various branches of NCLT have been there in the state headquarters, and for the purpose of practicing or maybe for the purpose of just engaging yourself or representing yourself before NCLT, it would be really good enough to learn the intricacies and technicalities to appear before those institutions and to draft the specific documents, petitions, applications, affidavits, declarations in this regard. So this is a process actually where you learn to resolve those management disputes. The next comes the merger and restructuring. This is a very niche area. Whenever you have an expert knowledge in terms of the Companies Act and other allied laws relating to the corporate laws, I think merger and restructuring gives you an edge over So this merger and restructuring process gives you a edge. Why? Because this is a very niche area, this is a very expert area where you draft a scheme, you draft so many documents dealing with the merger and restructuring. You advise the client about the restructuring process, be it about the capital, be it about the business of that particular company, or maybe they are venturing into other market, they are decentralizing their business, they are going to the offshore market, they are now dealing in the export market or maybe import market. So these all restructuring will give you an idea that what sort of knowledge under the Companies Act and the corporate laws is really required. So these merger and restructuring processes will require your domain knowledge and the expert knowledge with regard to the career path. Now litigations. So you cannot avoid litigations, maybe against or by the corporates. And since company is an artificial person, but it's a legal person. And the director may sue or they may also be sued by others in the name of the company. So these litigations under the corporate laws cannot be avoided. And these are the matters which are in the nature of maybe civil or maybe in the nature of criminal. So again, your combined knowledge so far acquired during your academic association with GIMS will definitely provide you, insight actually to learn various technicalities to deal with the litigations. So here, these, points are again not exhausted, and these points may again be elaborated in a way where one has to learn and earn well actually. My dear friends, I was just, talking the other day, some of the very good names, like, for example, Paliman, or maybe Jit Manalichi, or maybe Arun Das. These senior, lawyers have given so much to the legal fraternity that we are really indebted. So one has to be very clear about their drafting part. So these individual persuades and individual attentions to a specific corner of law will be discussed and should be discussed with your seniors, with your mentors, so that you may opt the right direction in your career path according to your passion, actually. So, like, for example, corporate law has been my passion, and since last 20 years, I've been dealing in only corporate laws. I'm not dealing in taxation, I'm not dealing in GST, but I've been dealing in only corporate laws. So I have to just study a lot. Yes, reading or study is not an exception to you as well. So you have to just cope up with those challenges, but those challenges are well rewarding also. So from the level of incorporation, compliances, various corporate actions under the Companies Act and corporate laws, the management dispute processes, the mergers, the restructurings, and various litigations have to be dealt with by you. So you are the future for those corporates which are coming. And now, let me tell you, my dear friends, I have been the part of many committees formed by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, wherein it has been evident that maybe in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line, our corporate culture is going to be consolidated on a country to country level. We have been just running towards where the country can witness the hub as a industrial hub, as a maybe a manufacturing hub. After China, we are one of the biggest economy in this world, and definitely next 5 years or 10 years are going to boost these areas, and wherein you will have ample opportunities, and this cake size is very big. Everyone has a role to play. The only thing is what you want to pick, how you want to pick, and where you want to pick. So those geographical penetration, those limitation with any individualistic approach definitely must be studied in a way so that an individual can be given a very momentous and very dedicated sort of a guidance, so that in throughout of his life to come, actually after completing your law, one may get excellence in any subject, because excellence has to be there. There is no exception to excellence. So you have to be excellent. You should have an excellence in a subject, in a method, in a deal, in your communication, in your persuasion, and maybe in all your persuades dealing with the outside world. So this is what you have to learn a lot, my dear friends. So with this, actually, I have to just, quote a final quote, which has been very beautiful quote. And this quote has been just dealt with by the wise men, that don't be afraid to start over again. Wherever you fail, whenever you have some certain setbacks in your life, in your profession, after the setback, whenever you have to start over again, this time now, you're not starting from the scratch, you are starting from your experience. So this is what I think I have to be, dealing with actually with you all. With this, I think my small PPT has just come to an end. Thank you so much. I may now take question and answers. Moderator, over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your delightful and insightful words. It truly motivated us a lot. So, are there any questions? If there are any questions, you may post it in the chat box, please. I think, sir, there are no questions as of now.
No issues.
So,
in fact, in the area of corporate laws, in the area of commercial laws, in the area of any other law, the commitment which is required by each and every student, I think it has to be, maybe right now, it has to be maybe after your academic career, it may be maybe after 5 years of starting of your career, but it has to be. So some point of time, it has to be. When I say it has to be, why not today? So
Yes,
it is today actually, from now it has to be. So this dedication will definitely pave the way, and the right thing, the right approach you all have done, that you have chosen GIMS actually as an institution. And this is where a good combination, because I have been personally witnessing those relationship between the mentor and mentee, the students and professors, the lecturers and teachers, how they're concerned. They are deeply concerned about the upliftment and the next level of their students. So this is what you have to be expert enough, my dear friends. Over to you, moderator.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to invite our HOD ma'am again, if she's available with us. HOD ma'am. Amita ma'am, is HOD ma'am present over here with us?
Any question in the chat box?
So let me check. No, sir. As
No
of now,
questions
no.
there.
No, sir. I think, sir, HOD ma'am is not with us
No
right now.
issues.
So
Any faculty
I'll,
member? Any
yes, sir. Now
faculty
I'll
member?
invite Mr. Mudit Roila, sir, for delivering a vote of thanks. Mudit, sir.
Thank you so much, Arunam, for inviting me here. And firstly, I would like to thank CS Deepak Sharma sir for giving us his time and delivering such a great lecture to the students and telling them about the corporate laws and what is the corporate structure actually. Because many of the students who are in sixth semester, they just read corporate laws in their last semester, and now they are reading about investment laws and securities laws. So your help would be very beneficial for them if they will approach you in the future. And thank you so much, sir, for telling them everything which is related to the corporate laws. And I would like to thank our HOD ma'am for arranging such an great lecture for our students, and our moderator, Professor Dr. Behel sir, and our Amita ma'am, technical team, and all the students who are present here, and all the mentors who are present here. Thank you all for your support, and thank you, CS Deepak Sharma sir, for your kind words. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mudit, sir.
And I'm
Now-
available all the time, as I just requested you all. In fact, the only thing is you have to just send me any query, any afterthought actually after the session. I will definitely take it and get back to you on a very individual level. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, just a second. Now I would like to invite all the participants to kindly turn on your cameras for a photograph. Amita ma'am, has this screenshot been taken, ma'am?
Yes, Arun.